Because it is.
Yeah, like I feel like if we set up extra straight, we'll come in.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And with my injury. Grace goes, what happened to you? I went outside and I just bent and I'm stretching and she's like, what was that sound? I said, that's old age. And you're like, fuck. That's the injury.
Yeah.
All right, you guys are good?
Yeah.
Good. All right. So my name is Jeremy Bowers. I'm one of the team leader, one of the owners of Kellam's Mainline Philly, and I've been doing this series on how I grew for the last couple months. And the best part about this series is people love to see where people grew up, their journey, what they're good at, what they stink at, and tell the whole story. This is raw, authentic, and not like Facebook. This is real stuff. So today my guest is Lynch. I've known Katie now for a while. She's one of the first people to join the company. And I'm excited to tell her journey. I know a lot of this stuff, but I'm gonna act like I don't, so you guys can learn, and then we can ask some questions at the end. So how are you doing today?
Great,
Good.
never better.
So
Excited for the holidays.
Exactly right. Except, but Sunday, right? So it looks like we got next 2 weekends we got holidays, right?
Mhm.
In a week, so it'll be fun. Then we'll be at 2023 and see what happens in this real estate market.
Crazy.
So real quick, before you get that, what do you think? What do you think's gonna happen? Let's change it up a little bit.
So I think it's gonna be hot, the same as it was this year.
Yeah.
Maybe not as crazy with people going like hundreds of thousands of dollars over, but people still going over. I was just telling the team, I wrote an offer over the weekend. The house was listed for $430. We offered $475. Comps were probably around $450 to $465. They got $505 for the house. And this house was by no means a $500,000 house. So.
Where was it?
It was in Delaware. So, that's still happening, you know. So I've been busy, luckily, like I've picked up a few new buyers just in the past month,
You had
so
a really good year.
I more than doubled my business from last year. Thank you. Yeah, it was a good year.
So where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Ridley/Media.
Okay, so before we talk about any else, you're a perfect person to ask this question. Okay? So if anybody's never been to Ridley area, they're known for many things, but two things in my world. Cheeseburgers
Mm-hmm.
and hoagies. And I used to work there, and it did not help me over those years' journey. I had to end up running it for many years after that. So
Yeah.
Zach's Burgers, Charlie's.
Yeah,
And I'm drawing a blank on a third one. What one do you like?
I love Charlie's.
Me too.
I'll forever love
Me
Charlie's.
too.
Yeah.
Anybody know where Charlie's is?
Yeah.
Where originally
Yeah.
where it used to
Yes.
be.
That was
Yes.
done.
That by the
done.
frontier.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I could never find, I got fired up, I'd go over find Charlie's, couldn't find it, it's behind the bank and then
Mhm.
building. Now it's in that shopping center, which is still good, my brother works across the street.
Oh, okay, I didn't know
Across
that.
the market right there.
Oh, nice.
And every time I go to visit them, they're always goes Charlie's. Charlie's one of the few burger places you can eat and you don't feel like crappy after.
Right,
It's not like,
yeah, because it's always fresh and they're really, really thin.
So you're Charlie's, all right, I'm
Yeah.
Charlie's. Second, hoagies. Where's your hoagie
Yeah.
spot?
Phil and Jim's,
I
in
like
Parkside.
that. Yeah. I like
Best.
that.
And cheesesteaks, the best cheesesteaks too.
I tend to go to Trios,
Okay, yeah, Trios is good.
and there's one right down the street from Trios. I'll drop the exit a lot of time during.
It's further down
Yeah,
on the right.
Exactly right.
Liberty?
Huh?
No, in Chester, the other way, going the other way down McD.
Yep.
Right on the. Sorry, I took my tongue. They'll come to me.
Yeah. So anyways, if you guys ever go to stadium, you don't feel like eating, you're coming back up 476. The exit off Ridley Park is so easy to stop.
Yeah.
Get cheeseburgers or get hoagies right there or on the way down.
Yep.
You want to spend 10, 15, Charlie's like $2 a burger.
It's something
It's
ridiculous,
crazy.
yeah, it's wonderful.
I feel like I'm getting a deal when I go.
Yeah, you are.
Very few people, right? All right, so that's cool. So you grew up in Ridley. How was it growing up there?
Great,
You play sports?
I did
What'd you play?
basketball and golf.
How'd you do?
All
What position did you play?
of them. All of them.
What about golf?
Usually 20. Golf, I've been golfing since I was 8 or 9.
You're better driver, chipper,
My
putter.
short game is better than my long game. I'm working on the long game. Yeah.
That's a good thing. Tiger Woods, I don't know if you know this, but
Mhm.
Tiger Woods' dad worked on chipping and putting and not the driving. Do you know why?
See, I down.
You only drive 18 times in a golf
Mhm.
match. Where chipping and putting, you're at least doing 36 on putting, you know what I mean? And then
Right.
chipping, like same
Sure.
thing.
Yeah.
So if you ever go to the golf range, you see someone pull out a driver first, you know they're not good.
Mm-hmm.
So you see her pull out probably a putter or a chipper because
Yeah.
that's.
I warm up with that.
Warm up, right?
Mhm.
Fair?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's your best score?
Oh, anything under 100 is good. I think the best I ever did was right under 90, like 89.
That's good, that's good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. That was years ago.
So, do you get to golf as much as you'd like to now?
No, I really wish I did more. I golf a lot with my dad. I call him my caddy. He'll
Where
appreciate
you
that.
go to one spot, different spots?
We're all over. So I grew up and learned how to golf at Concord Country Club in Glen Mills.
Yeah.
We still go there a lot. Paxton, Springfield, all over Delaware. You know, we kind of go.
You say Concord, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I played pickleball there in the last 12 months. That was cool. It's a nice country club
Yeah.
and a tennis court.
Mm-hmm. Love it there. Beautiful pool.
Yeah.
Beautiful course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you played sports. Were you
Mm-hmm.
a good student or a bad student?
I was a good student.
All right.
Yeah.
Trouble,
I love
no
learning.
trouble?
Now I stayed out of trouble. I started working. I got my first job when I was, my dad owns a business. So I feel like I can confidently say I've been working since I was like a small child.
What's your dad do?
He owns a jewelry store.
Okay. Where at?
Very convenient for me.
Yeah.
Right in Media on State Street. He's been there 30 years. Golden Impulse.
What's up?
Everything's on sale for the holidays. How am I sending you?
Media is my favorite town.
See?
My brother's still mad at me. He also works at the media downtown.
Mhm.
Wants to work there.
Yep.
And he's mad at me. He tried moving there and I was supposed to move there. I told him no. He had come before in Blue Bell. Now, so the kids are gone, we're moving to media.
Good. I love media.
Right.
So that's why I really say, well, my parents are split. So that's why I really did split my time between graduated from Ridley, where my mom lived, and spent the other half, you know, with my dad in media and obviously at the store and working and all that kind of
What do
stuff.
you like the media we're at?
Oh gosh, I love Ariano.
Yeah.
I love Dos Gringos. I love Through Twin Market. I love House, Bittersweet. I love everything.
How about the-
Tamaki, the best sushi in Delco.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Yeah. So good.
How
So many
about the
good
old
places.
school
to eat.
arcade there? Did you ever go in there?
I've popped in, but only popped in just to kind of see it and then popped right out.
Anybody else? There's an old
It's
school
cool in there,
arcade. You
yeah.
pay like $10. Did you ever go there?
No,
And it's
sounds
unlimited.
It's fun.
You just go play whatever games you want, and then there's an area in the back, appreciation party,
Mhm.
small area, it's not huge, but it's nice. You have birthday parties, appreciation parties, you can observe it, and you can have the whole arcade. So
And they sell like
Great
old school candy and like stuff like that. It's cool in there.
I think they'd be flexible too on coffee cups and cocktails for adults. They see, well, I did it, and it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Media is pretty
Seems
chill.
pretty cool.
They're pretty
So,
chill.
I think they did a good appreciation party.
Yeah.
So, you grew up, you're a good student.
Oh, so I said I started working when I was young. When I was in high school, my class was going to Spain and my mom was like, you can absolutely go, but you have to pay for part of it. You have to pay your way. And I was babysitting and like helping my dad out and stuff like that. But my mom managed the PNC Bank in Swarthmore. So one of her biggest clients was Swarthmore Pizza. He had a daughter my age who was also going to start working there. So he's like, great, between the two of you, you'll almost be like one competent person. So we started working together.
Was that true or not?
It was mostly true.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we were 14, you know, so and I could walk there. So I worked there for probably 8 years, because all through high school, and then when I would come home from college, like any breaks and stuff like that, like they were great. They would give me shifts and stuff all the time, and I literally did like every single job, like answer the phone, delivery, pizza, cheesesteaks, fries, dishwasher, waitress, hostess,
Teaches
like
you a lot.
everything. I did everything.
Do you think that's why versatility? You learn this versatility? being around
Mhm.
people?
And like working under pressure and working with people, all different kinds of people, between like the back of house people and then just customers and customer service, being on the phone and all that kind of stuff. And then working for my dad, you know, working at the store and dealing with customers and that kind of stuff. Yeah, definitely.
So, good student, golf, basketball. What happened after high school?
I went to Millersville University, which is up in Lancaster. It's probably, for me, it was like an hour and 45 minutes away. So it was kind of like that perfect distance
Yeah.
that I was still away from my parents, but like
Yeah.
anything happened.
How'd you like it?
It was great. I mean, I changed my major 3 times, that class. Still graduated in 4 years
Yep.
with a major and a minor.
That's impressive.
I know, right?
I did 4.5, changed my major 2, 3 times, yeah, you're right.
I was business and then I was
See?
meteorology. And then I was finally communications, public relations.
So probably with your classes were able to transfer over. to the more
A
general-
lot of the business ones and then a lot of the meteorology, they were all like the core classes in physics and meteorology and then I had a minor in international studies.
So what'd you do after you graduated?
Well, I graduated in one of the most wonderful years of the economy, 2010, when, the job market was just absolutely booming. And I moved back in with my parents, and it's so funny because my parents begged me to go to grad school. They're like, just stay in school. Like, any job you get is not gonna be what you wanna do, like, just stay in school. And I was so done because I changed my major. Like, I didn't coast my senior year. Like, it was all of my hardest classes, biggest projects, and I was just so burnt out from it. And I was like, I can't stay in school, like, let me take at least like a semester off. So I went home and I still regret that now. So I did odd jobs, like I was like a receptionist and like a secretary. And then about a year after I graduated, a really, really good family friend was opening the East Coast operations for a global financial technology company. And he was like, I just need somebody that has a degree and somebody that I can trust to kind of like build up this office and all that kind of stuff. So I was technically his assistant, but he gave me a marketing title because he knew that I went to school for public relations and likely based off of that, that's where my career would go. Like it would probably be somewhere like within marketing or public relations. But I was 100% his assistant. Like I used to pick his kids up from school. Like I used to take his car to get oil changes. Like assistant. Like got us coffee every morning. Like I still have his Amex card memorized. Like literally, it's still in my brain. It's like burned in my brain. Booked all of his travel. Like literally, it is all that kind of stuff. But he taught me a lot, and he taught me like I'll give you whatever job you want, but you're gonna start at the bottom. And he's like, if you can't get my coffee order right, why would I trust you with literally doing anything else with the company? And that, I respected that a lot. Like he made me work for it. So I worked for him and a few other people within the company until I ultimately became the vice president of operations. And instead of being in his one business line, which was specifically payments, I ended up being VP of the entire, from, like a higher corporate level. And they wanted to move me out to San Francisco. I was like, I don't know if I wanna do that. I was like, well, what's my growth? Like, what's my growth plan? Like, where do I go from being VP? And they're like, yeah, like you peaked. And I'm like, great, okay, learned a lot, thank you. So then I was literally interviewing. I was.
Not now, then.
Yeah, I was 25, 26, 27, around there. So I was interviewing all over the country. I was this close to taking an operations role for an all women run and owned payments financial technology company, which was, even today, it's like unheard of. Like there's just not that many women in the financial tech space. And then I saw on Facebook that one of my very best friends got into real estate. And I was like, before I uproot my entire life, like maybe, and remain back of house, remain on the back end doing operations and running salespeople and running sales team, like maybe I should see like what else is out there. And she's like, let's get drinks. And here I am, 7 years later.
And then you got your license?
Got my license, so I
Full-time,
continued, I went at night 2 days a week from 6 to 9 or 6 to 10. Luckily, it was only 60 hours then, I think it's 75 now.
Yep.
60 hours, so it took me a while, like I started in late summer, early fall, I finished the week before Thanksgiving. Like the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, I took my test on Monday, literally like, it was like 7:45 a.m. appointment, crushed it, killed it, because by then I had already had a job, which I can tell you about. But all I had to do was get my license, crushed it. I love learning and I love being a student and I'm a good test taker.
Is that a test taker?
It gets you nowhere, besides like the real estate,
So-
like who cares that you can take it?
So someone was getting interviewed yesterday, I was watching this, and he was talking about test taking.
Mhm.
And he says, I'm an okay learner, but I figured out test taking.
Yeah.
And I need to listen to the rest of the stuff about test taking. I'm a horrible test taker. So for me, on a side conversation, like,
Right.
no, because
Which is fine, because like when in your adult life, do you really have to sit down and take a test? But if you can absorb the knowledge and apply it, that's all that matters.
I have to retake my New Jersey license.
Mm,
So I got the exception, but I just have to take the New Jersey part. The
Yeah.
New Jersey is supposed to be easiest, and no, it won't.
Yeah.
I am absolutely horrible.
They're not fun, the real estate exams at all.
Well, side note, every time we talk about test taking tips.
It's definitely happy to.
So you crushed it, got into real estate,
Mhm.
where'd you work, where'd you start off?
So I was offered the, to be what they called a management apprentice for Whiker,
Which
Um,
area?
Chatsworth.
Okay.
Yep, so, I got hired in the summer, 2015.
Okay.
Got hired in the summer, I had to go and take my classes, because I couldn't just quit my job while I was taking these classes, like I still needed money. So, took the test, passed the test, literally drove right to my office, and I was like, I quit, I'll give you my 2 weeks. The guy that I was working for was not very nice, at the time, not the guy that hired me, not the family friend, he had moved on. He said, that's fine, you can pack your stuff and get out. And I'm like, gladly, see ya, because they were a New Jersey-based company, so I knew that they had to pay me for those 2 weeks. And then the owner, the president of the company called me like 3 hours later. He's like, I heard what happened. Please come back. Like, please, we need you for these two weeks to transition and blah, blah, blah. So then 2 weeks later, I started. So it was literally just my 7-year anniversary on the 15th.
So
December.
you went through management apprentice.
Management apprentice program at Whiker, which entailed I had to work 50 hours a week. And I still had to list and sell real estate. So a lot of,
So you paid a salary,
got paid on a draw.
draw.
Yep, which was awful. It was like nothing, enough to live on, but like barely.
Yeah.
And then once I kind of repaid my draw, I was on a terrible commission split.
Okay.
And I did that for a few years, quite a few years.
And what was sort of thinking, like, hey, you can be a apprentice, we'll teach you to learn how to be a
To take
leader.
over, yeah, to take over an office.
And how long does it normally take a person to do that?
So typically it's like a 3-year like agreement that you sign, essentially. Like you agree to do this program and then they pay for you to like get your broker's license, like they pay for you, that kind of stuff. And it was great, right? Because I had health insurance, I had benefits, like I was a salaried employee. And then as soon as I paid back my draw, I was then at that point hopefully making, decent money, but my split was so terrible that I really wasn't. And then when you really start making money, you're like, I don't need that every 2 week
Yep.
paycheck, right? You know what I mean?
Hours, right?
Mhm.
So then you decided, all right, it's not for me.
Yep.
I know how this happened, but how did you connect with us?
So 2019, I started to look around because I wanted to leave the program. Wasn't so sure if I wanted to leave Whiker, so I started looking. So then February of 2020, February of 2020, I officially quit being, at that point, I was the assistant manager of the office. Like I was officially that title. So lost my benefits, lost everything. That was literally like the last day of February.
Yeah.
And then we all know what happened 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
COVID. So I went from getting a regular paycheck and salary to not, not being, we were shut down. We were shut down for, what was it, 2 months, 3 months,
Yeah.
something like that?
Yeah.
So that was an interesting time in my life. Luckily, I had like a ton of business pending and stuff, so kind of got through 2020. So by the time, towards the end of 2020 or, the summer of 2020 rolled around, Nicole and I, Nicole Erickson, my partner at the Modern Group, we were like, what do we do? We gotta get out of here. Like, what do we do? What are we doing in this company? Like, Nicole and I were at the top of the leaderboard and like, that was just unacceptable for not because of like our age being young in the business, but being young in the business with our experience.
Yeah.
And it was like, we need something to like go after, like bigger picture, that kind of stuff. So we started looking around and yeah, you had reached out and we decided to get together and we were like, all right, let's do this. And Nicole and I had worked so closely together that when we decided that we were gonna make a move, we were like, why don't we join forces and become a team?
What
we did.
brought you to, what interests you guys about this?
Well, I was interested because it was a market that I hadn't yet professionally tapped into. But I wasn't worried about being on the main line and having the majority of my business be in Delaware County, Chester County, and Delaware, because we all know that ultimately like that doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, great, I'll learn a new market, get to know like new agents, new area. And then just like the possibilities, like the vibe, the aesthetic, the leadership team, the opportunities, like, it was, I think that was the first time I really realized like there is no limit, like there is no ceiling.
Yep.
And I never felt like that before at my own company.
So you come over, you're selling real estate, the team gets formed,
Yep.
right? And then you guys grow your business.
Yep.
You build something pretty cool together.
Yeah.
What,
Having a great time.
what do you think you guys do well?
I think I feel like we do really well, and I think we're getting better and better every day, is like really portraying our brand well. Like from like the modern group perspective and then individually, I think we've really leaned into and embraced the fact that our business is obviously listing and selling houses, but it's more so relationships, and every one of us is our own individual brand, and that's how you're gonna attract people. So I think we do a good job of exploiting that and drawing in business. We're really great at having fun, very important. And yeah.
Why do you think you're good at having fun? Like, why is your guys' energy that way? Is it the people part of the group? Is it how you guys, have structure set up? What do you think?
I think it's because that's how we've really grown our business, is by being social and going out and meeting people and having fun. And that's, we always wanted to cast a deep net, not a wide net. So when it comes to sphere of influence, that's how we grew our business. Like Nicole, worked at a restaurant and was able to like exploit that business because of those connections. She still gets connections from working there,
Which one's that?
I worked at the Casey's in Newtown Square.
Yeah.
and that like really helped her business. And it was like because they saw on social, that she was selling, but she like still showed up and worked at like the restaurant and stuff like that, and going to happy hour and like posting about it, like where I am, and knowing things about like media, like I can rattle off the best happy hour brunch, like you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like down to like the meal that you should eat at like every restaurant in media, and like people know that,
So would you say you guys are very good connectors?
I would say, got a guy for everything.
Yeah.
Right.
And then what do you think you guys, or yourself, you want to work on? Like, what's your focus on 2020?
I would really love to refine my CRM.
Okay.
We do a good job of, organizing things as far as like home anniversaries and birth dates and contact information, but it's not in a system that we can exploit, if that makes sense.
So at 12 o'clock, you have an email on? You have like 10 minutes? I'm gonna show you some at 10. Okay, so 12 o'clock for 10 minutes, I'll show you what it takes. Is how to recategorize it, how to leverage that, and all the stuff you do with your contacts and events. I think you guys do a really good job of throwing events.
Yes, we do.
Like you guys really.
We had a lot of really fun ones this past year. We're really looking forward to the ones that we have planned for next year too. Yeah.
So you wanna redefine that. What do you think is the challenge right now in the real estate market for yourself? Getting business, getting deals done, like what are you seeing out there?
You don't like the nice answer?
Yeah.
The real answer? Challenges. I think, over my long 7-year career, like you just really realize that there's a lot of bad agents out there.
Yeah.
A lot of bad agents, right? Like just bad communicators, bad business practices, stuff like that. So I find that to be a challenge because it makes it really hard for you to be good at your job when you're only in control of 50% of it.
Yeah.
So I've worked with a lot of really, really amazing agents this year that like I know for a fact that we wouldn't have gotten the deal done if it weren't for like the professionalism and like the outside the box thinking of the people on the other side. Which is great, because I learned a lot.
That's what you just said, that's why I think like Zillow and the internet sites are gonna have a hard time if you don't have the people in the middle. Stuff's gonna blow up. It's not booking a trip, this is like the largest purchase of their life.
Right,
So that big
It's
person.
very personal.
Yeah.
Very
What
personal.
else would you say?
Just the shifting market, how quickly things move, the shifting markets. I mean, at the end of the day, the people, the hot markets, they're not selling their homes. Like the listings are still gonna continue to be down and it's mostly because a lot of these people that live in their homes, especially people that are older, they have absolutely nowhere to go. They have nowhere to go, they have no options. They can't afford to go to some fancy retirement community, they don't have kids that they can move in with, like, they don't have options. So, they stay there until, yeah.
What are you guys doing to work yourself? What are you doing to drum up business and find people that?
Just really trying to really ask for the business, ask for the referrals. I have a lot of really great, strong relationships with referral partners in different parts of the country. I got a lot of business that way this year. So making sure that, I strengthen those ties. I'm gonna focus a lot on like reviews, like asking for reviews and getting my name out there a little bit more. And just asking for the business. Like I'm gonna go back to basics. I'm not recreating the wheel. I'm not gonna spend a dime on any kind of internet buyer lead gen. Like I refuse to spend money for lead gen for buyers. I'm just personally not gonna do it.
So if you ask me, Jeremy, what's one of the things that you're noticing when you're meeting people from other brokerages in here and some are seeing common lead gen is, I would say 90%, 95% of their business is coming from COI.
Right.
Once in a while, get a person's doing well, we have 2 in here, I know do well with Zillow,
Mhm.
and a couple more people do well with Zillow, but like, majority it's COI.
Right. Right, and it's like, I understand like when you get to a certain a point in the production of like your business and spending that money on like a Zillow, like it absolutely makes sense. And when you have a big team, like those are things that are like, you gotta do.
But-
You know what I mean? It's
but
just
the
for me and my business, I'm not.
Yeah, but even the ones that are bigger, there's, a couple big teams that have like Zillow Flex.
Mhm.
Their returns are not what they used to be. And that's the feedback I'm getting from people right now.
Right.
It's all in on COI. I've never seen them do this over 20 years now at this point is people talk about COI as much as they have. Like
Right.
center of influence, people you know, right? Know your
Right.
name, having
Mhm.
events, having appreciation events.
Yeah, I think the events really help. And then generating business, we do like a lot of handwritten notes for trying to get listing leads. Like when we have buyer meets, like listen, like Kate would love to buy a house on Ash Road. Like you may have noticed, like your neighbor's house sold for, $25,000 over asking. Like she's going to do the same. Like let me know if you're interested.
When you're sending
That
that
works.
letter, are you handwriting or are you stapling on the front of the letter? Are you handwriting or are you putting a sticker on it?
Depends on what it is, depends on how many people it's going out to. Like if it's just one street, they can be handwritten. If you're sending like 250, it's like that doesn't make sense to do that. You can just do a mail merge and
That's the struggle we're at. So today we're at once 250, something like that, team just send them out, we're doing labels, but I really wanted to handwrite them, but just.
I mean, which is
Cricket
fine, get
machine.
your daughter.
Yeah.
She told
You know
me,
what I mean?
she said she got too much schoolwork these days.
Well, I'm not gonna, I'm sure she does. I'm not gonna,
Trust me,
I have no idea if she does or not.
No, but you're right, but like how many, even at that, like, we were trying to
What's your
handwrite.
time? What is your time worth?
Yeah.
If we're sitting there and writing that, maybe it is. To you, it may be, that's fine too.
Even the small ones, I think a good point actually, put her, she does work for us,
Mhm.
so that's one thing I could do, a good cricket machine too, which you
Yeah.
recommend that.
Mm-hmm.
The cricket machine t-shirt thing, sweatshirt thing, amazing. Can't wait, did everybody buy a sweatshirt, t-shirt?
The KW mainline
Yeah.
here, see Tori after if you
Yeah.
haven't, she'll look it
There's
up.
your inventory,
So,
hoodies are coming, right?
I ordered one of everything,
Good.
loved it, came to the office, but looks like Jeremy, you kinda have to wash that.
Right.
2-3 days in a row, I got a little excited at home. Yeah, all right.
Good, that's great, I'm so glad.
So, cricket machine,
Mhm.
handwritten notes,
Mhm.
stand in front of people.
Yeah, just saying that like home anniversaries, birthdays, we do a lot of promotions, like we're gonna do this week like a holiday giveaway that's gonna be like on our Instagram, and it's like, the girl that does my hair, she's like, you girls do like the best stuff, like, what is your next thing, when's your next event, like she knows to ask, and she knows it's coming up, and I'm like, there's gonna be a holiday giveaway, I told her what was gonna be in it, she's like, oh my god, I'm so excited. So it's like, stuff like that, just staying in front of people, we'll do like a few times a year, we'll do like coffee, like DM us and we'll send you like a Starbucks gift card, for the first like 50 people or something like that like a post or respond to a post and stuff like that. Like, people appreciate that and they remember it,
I think,
so.
I think coronavirus realtors have done a much better job of waking up and showing their gratitude.
Mhm.
Like for years, I didn't. At least I don't know if you did. I was like, Training Marine, I don't know if you did, but like, I find me showing my gratitude more over the last couple of years than I did before.
Mhm.
I definitely think I thought more transactional before than
I definitely did. I absolutely did. Yeah.
Right?
Because the amount of appreciation parties you see now, and the amount,
I'll give you an example, Joe, I think, was it Joe? Someone just watched Eagles football with some of their past.
I'm planning on
You're
it.
planning. So someone else in the office just did one, and I was like, that was great, they had like 10 people there. And then just instead of going with your buddies, why don't I go with some people that I know that are maybe in the center of influence, let's get, the Eagles game.
I just went to the bar and said, and just see people focusing on it.
Yeah.
Something I bring up to you that's working recently with us is raffle. So raffle for reviews. So we're on our second raffle right now for.
Oh, yeah, the Eagle, are you doing the Eagles?
And like, I was selling them, like never, if I offend you, I apologize. I don't believe in like selling tickets, like some people like sell tickets to make money. Anybody watching this
Mhm.
is like, I bought it, if someone I know is buying it, I think they should pay retail.
Mhm.
If I'm at a shore house and I'm not using it, I better hook one of my friends or someone I know uses it. It's just my belief, right?
Sure.
So on the Eagles tickets, instead of selling sometimes, I'm like, Andrew, let's just start raffling them off. And reviews,
Mhm.
I think we got
Tax write-off, right?
60 or 80 people in the first raffle. And the only way to get in the raffle was to write a review.
That's incredible.
And our second one
And it
is,
cost you what, a couple $100?
it's cost me, I don't even know it's Eagles tickets anymore, called
Yeah, it's hard to
$250,
tell.
two seats, they're not great, but they're good.
Mhm.
And then we're doing one January 1st. I think we have over 60 people again, so what's that? It's like 140,
It's a lot.
150
Yeah.
people in the raffle. No way to get in the raffle is they give you a review on Google.
I was gonna say, where are you capturing it? Google?
Andrew's trying to focus on Google.
Good, but Google's gonna own everything.
Yeah, and then you have the Zillows, or spots, or Facebook, whatever she's doing, like her business. I didn't know what happened, but one day all of a sudden people started liking me on Instagram.
Mhm.
I'm trying to build that up this year, TikTok, which I still understand, I'm trying to work on that. But, yeah, is build that up is through tickets.
Right.
So if you guys aren't doing that, and you're watching this, it can also give you
It's
a
a great
reason to
idea.
chat with people.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I bought Phillies tickets because of it, we bought 16 games, Sixers we bought 10,
Great.
and then
I saw you went last
Eagles
night.
8, yep. So I had 2 of my seats, and then I got 2 seats given to me, which it's on my bucket list now, is be able to buy 10 to 24 seats. After you experience 4 seats and you see them sweating down there and you see them like yelling at each other.
I would die
talking trash,
If
it's
Tyble
amazing.
like ran into me on like the sideline.
So
I would
he was there to
be so
Bill and
happy.
I away, and Alexa was just no one was an older security guy. Like, she was just like, Dad, can I just go say hi? I was like,
Right.
I want to tell you yes, but no. I was like, yeah, I was name too. He turns around. Right?
Mhm.
That was cool just to be
Yeah,
there
like,
and
that
see
would
that.
be incredible,
Yeah.
incredible.
So I would say like ticket wise, raffle wise, try to do that all.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I'll definitely look into that.
What,
Sure.
what questions do you guys have? What was the takeaway you took from her? Where did she learn her versatility? Yeah. Seriously, is that,
That's
yeah. So isn't that interesting?
Restaurant can really
Yeah.
teach you.
Yeah, you learn so much. You
Right?
learn so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Restaurants teach so much versatility. I had a ponytail was a waiter, I remember my best tip night was $38. We can't laugh. Can you imagine me with a ponytail? Had a ponytail. My best tip night was $38. And I was their best waiter, they said, I don't know. And that shows you Punxsutawney, what the bills could cost you $9.95 for a steak. Kansas are $6.
Yeah.
And then no one, it was weird, is that in Western PA, either people drink heavily on beer or they don't drink. And soda's huge, and it's unlimited soda drinking. The majority of people who came to this Italian restaurant did not drink. Like barely ever did I ever see a union actually order wine.
Yeah.
Like it's weird, like out here.
We did
everyone's
wine
like,
here,
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So you got the prices up, right?
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is fun, like a lot of stuff you look as you get older, a lot of it came from earlier what you did.
Absolutely. Yeah, I never remember not working. Like I had cousins, so it's like I was babysitting, I was in my dad's store, like he would save up, like he would do, like the big things like watch batteries, restringing pearls, like just polishing things, cleaning things, dusting things, doing inventory at the end of every year. Like literally every single piece of jewelry, you have to look at this teeny, teeny, tiny little tag and like read off the numbers. And then like, I can't read my dad's writing. He's screaming at me from the back. And it's like, you know what I mean? It's just like stuff like,
I got a
Yeah.
question for you. Why did you get into jewelry?
why did he get into jewelry?
Why did you not get into jewelry?
Oh, Probably because he's complained about it so much the last 15 years. No, I'm kidding.
Is it the
It just
retail
wasn't-
hours of being locked to a
Well,
building?
no, my dad works like 15 hours a week. He's living life. It's fine. Honestly, like physically, it's very demanding.
Yeah.
It's like he makes a lot of jewelry. Like he's not just like a retailer. Like he does a lot of custom stuff, like a ton of engagement rings and custom pieces and stuff like that. And it just wasn't something that I was ever interested. Like I wasn't interested in any kind of like repair work or doing anything like that. But the entrepreneurial stuff, like my older brother owns his own business. I own my own business. My dad owns his own business. Like, you know, that part of it was very ingrained in us from a very young age. Like the pros and cons of that, right? Like having your own business and the responsibility, but then also having the flexibility and the freedom. And, you know, same with him. Like he didn't go into work that day. He doesn't make any money. Like there is no PTO, there is no vacation time, there is no health insurance, there's no, you know what I mean? Like 401ks, like it doesn't exist.
All right, so you guys ever notice that you have conversations with people, you never know if you're gonna make money off this? This next tip, or question I ask her, and she gives us the answer,
Oh gosh.
someone in this room is gonna make money off this, right? So in life, you ever notice you have random conversations with people, like there's some interesting fact that you had from a story before that kept a conversation going?
Mhm.
It could be Punxsutawney, it could be Swarthmore Pizza,
Mhm.
it could be Charlie's Burgers. A lot of times it's not real estate,
Mhm.
right? So here's my next question. My last one I got, it's my most interesting one. Besides asking people what do they do for fun, which we should ask you that, we didn't ask yet. Second one's this. What's the profit margins in jewelry?
I mean, everything's marked up anywhere from 300% to 2,500%. I get a lot of questions on the man-made diamonds versus like the nature, we call them God-made diamonds versus man-made. Chemically, they're
So
the same.
$10,000 ring costs maybe $3,000.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
And
I
it
heard the
changes, right? I
percentages.
mean, it
Yeah.
changes a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
My dad, I mean, one of the best years my dad ever had was 2009, 10, 11, and you can probably guess why. Everybody was on really hard times and everybody was selling all their stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, he bought me a car that year in cash, because he had such a great year, you know what I mean?
Rolex,
So,
as you're watching Rolexes right now, just dropped the crazy prices people are paying.
right, and he doesn't deal, like that kind of stuff, like, when it comes to like watches specifically, like, I can change a battery and stuff like that, but like that all gets.
It's interesting, most jewelry stores, watches are separate. Like, you have to go to a
Always,
good
well,
watch
there's no
store
money
and
in
jewelry.
them, there's no money in watches, there's none. Because that's like such a specific, like you were saying, it's like a house, right? I mean, they're so specific.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not just like a diamond ring where it's like, okay, it's this much gold, this is the diamond, this is the class, this is the weight, this is the clarity, so it's like.
So how much profits in jewelry? Anybody? How much?
You just
Wow.
said.
Huh?
Yeah, 300 to 2,500, like that.
That's crazy.
So that's some point in your conversation, just let me know when you have a conversation with someone about jewelry someday, you might get a deal because of.
Did you know?
Did you know? What do you do?
It's
for
a
fun?
racket? No, it's not my problem. What do I do for fun? Well, I have 2 nephews and a little baby niece. They're really fun and cute. They keep me busy.
Big
Very
cats?
close. No,
You let Nicole deal with that.
Nicole can have all the dogs. I
Yeah,
have
they're so
no.
cute.
I love other people's dogs.
Yeah.
Love them. I have no desire.
I'm the same, I had second kid and third kid. Just borrow other kids, bring them over.
I have no desire. I just feel
Take
like
them
I'm never home. Like, other people's dogs love.
Yeah.
I love the Sixers. I love the Eagles. I love the Lakers. I probably go to at least like 10 games a season at Sixers.
Which is your favorite game to go to?
Like actual sporting event.
Sporting event.
Oh, that's so hard.
And we're talking about last night.
Like so I love the Sixers for many reasons. Like weather doesn't matter.
Yes.
Doesn't matter. You know you're gonna have a great time. Like they just do such a great time of entertaining the crowd. Like the Sixers, the actual basketball players, but then all the other stuff that
It's the
goes
most
on
predictable.
too. And it's great. And especially like when we're doing good. Like when I went to playoff games like this past year, like it's just an unbelievable feeling to be there. And I really enjoyed Wells Fargo in general. Like very clean, very nice.
All the new restaurants they open up. are
Right,
great.
everything's
All the
great,
food,
but I love, like, there's something about like a summer baseball game.
Yep.
Like sitting outside, sweating, like having a good time, drinking beers, like tailgating. I love
Do
that.
you know the food in the stadium is not owned by them?
Mhm.
Did you guys know
I
that?
didn't know that.
So that's all Airmark food.
You know how they count beers, especially like at the bar, they count it by the cups. They don't count it by pools. They don't take volume, it's all cups. How many cups did you sell?
It's kind of like that famous pizza shop down the Jersey Shore got busted for tax evasion. Remember that? They got busted for pizza boxes. That's how they busted them. I won't drop the name. Right, forget it.
Everybody.
There we go. I'm not
Because
gonna-
now it's my go bag,
I'm not
right?
gonna
We don't
lay
know.
that out. Got a
So
question?
I'll give you a fact about Aramark, because I actually did a loan for one of the VPs. Do you know how much Aramark makes per dollar that is spent?
I'm afraid to know.
11 cents on the dollar. That's their profit margin.
Huh.
Pretty minimal.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Philly
The
based
rest
company.
is goes
Yeah.
towards the stadium, towards the owners.
11 cents.
11 cents on the dollar. Now, that may have changed. That was probably, let's just say 10 years ago.
Yeah,
So
that's interesting.
maybe it's a couple cents more.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're just basically wholesale.
And basically, that's at
11 cents, 10%, 11%.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
that is really interesting.
Anybody else?
Alright, we're gonna talk, about database and categorizing for a couple minutes, okay?
Great.
We can't share it with everybody, because this is gonna be top secret, so
So if you're watching this, and you don't work Kevin's main line, you don't get to find out. If you wanna find out, reach out to me.
Well, you only got 12, you got 12% battery. So.
12%, I found out someone borrowed my charger,
Uh-oh.
so.
I don't have one today.
All right, so, thank you for coming today.
Thank
Give a
you.
round of applause.